The National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, stresses the need for government to intensify employment generation efforts. According to NEDA, this should address the dislocation caused by various calamities last year. More details from Jorge Bandola.
According to the National Economic Development Authority, more employment opportunities should be put up in areas previously stricken by disasters. Came after the latest Philippine Statistics Authority's latest force survey, which shows that total employment grew by 0.8% year-on-year, translating to 283,000 jobs generated, but slower than the labor force growth of 1.2% during the period when disasters happened. As a result, the unemployment rate went up to 7.5% in January 2014, higher by 0.4 percentage point from the 2013 rate of 7.1%. However, NEDA noted that the same survey that the underemployment rate went down to 19.5% for the period, or approximately 7.1 million employed persons in January 2014. This is lower compared to 20.7% or about 7.5 million in January 2013. Secretary Arsenio Balitaan says the devastation wrought by the previous disasters greatly affected tourism and demand for leisure and wellness services that affected a great number of previous employees, while others resort to take menial jobs just to survive. Unemployment rate was highest at 11.2% in the National Capital Region. Balitaan says it may be due to the phenomenon of in-migration of from rural areas and those from the disaster-stricken areas seeking opportunities for employment. NEDA further recommends that a strategic response is to encourage more employment opportunities in these places of refuge, which could be cast wider to include the towns or provinces adjacent to the disaster-stricken areas. Balitaan also recommends that since these refugees now do not possess documentary evidence of employability due to calamities, employment facilitation strategy should then be redesigned to include mechanisms to reconstruct proof of employability. And to minimize effects of disasters on the economy as a whole, Balitaan also emphasized the importance of a diversified market for inputs and outputs to ensure continued operations, even if certain sectors or areas are adversely affected by disaster. Meanwhile, Balitaan noted that the calculation of labor and employment figures for the January 2014 LFS excludes that of Region 8, as certain parts of the region were devastated by Super Typhoon Yolanda and no survey was conducted in those areas. For People's Television, Jorge Bandola.